Today we need to address a topic that is both urgent and deeply personal: the growing crisis of mental health that is leading far too many people, especially young people, to tragic outcomes like suicide. This is not just a statistic or a headline, it's a reality that is touching more lives than ever before, often in silence and isolation. This issue isn't something that happens far away, or to people we don't know. It's unfolding right here, in our own neighborhoods, in our schools, and sometimes even within our own families. Every day, people we pass on the street or sit next to in class are struggling with invisible battles. Globally, suicide has become one of the leading causes of death for young people, surpassing many diseases and accidents. The numbers are staggering, but behind every statistic is a person, a friend, a sibling, a classmate, whose story ended too soon. We've lost incredibly talented individuals, like filmmaker Jeff Baena and actor Francisco San Martin, whose creative gifts touched many. Their passing is a stark reminder that mental health struggles do not discriminate based on success, fame, or talent. When we see people who seem to have it all, success, recognition, admiration, succumb to such despair, it forces us to confront a difficult question. If even those who appear to be thriving can struggle so deeply, what about the countless others who suffer in silence, without the spotlight or support? This is not just a problem for celebrities or young people, it's a human problem, affecting people of all ages, backgrounds, and walks of life. No one is immune to the pain that can lead to such desperate decisions. The pain that drives someone to this point is often invisible, deeply personal, and incredibly isolating. It can feel like no one understands, like there's no way out. But the truth is, this pain is more common than we realize, and it's part of a much larger crisis that is growing every year. The rising numbers are not just statistics, they are a wake-up call. They show us that individual suffering is part of a collective emergency, one that demands our attention, compassion, and action. We must face this crisis head-on, without turning away or minimizing the pain. We need to examine the pressures that young people face today: academic stress, social media, bullying, and the relentless expectations to succeed. Public figures, too, are under constant scrutiny, often hiding their struggles behind a mask of confidence. It's time to have honest conversations about what we can do to help. Understanding the problem is the first step, but it's not enough. We need to create safe spaces for people to talk, to listen without judgment, and to support one another in meaningful ways. This conversation is long overdue, and it's absolutely crucial, not just for those who are struggling, but for all of us. Our communities, our families, and our future depend on how we respond to this silent epidemic. We must get it right, because every life matters, and together we can make a difference. The numbers are terrifying. Suicide rates among young people are climbing. In many countries, it's a leading cause of death for ages 15 to 29. The COVID-19 pandemic worsened an already dire situation. Lockdowns and isolation created a mental health disaster. Support systems vanished, leaving many alone with their thoughts. The post-pandemic world shows a spike in youth depression and suicide. This is a documented public health emergency. Our society is failing to protect its youngest members. We must see this as a desperate call for help. Why is this happening? School pressure is a big part of it. Kids face relentless pressure for success, creating constant anxiety. Social media adds to the pressure, with unrealistic portrayals of life. This comparison destroys self-esteem, making life seem lacking. Cyberbullying is a 24/7 threat, leading to profound loneliness. These pressures create a dangerous feeling of not being good enough. This can lead to hopelessness and depression. Young people feel they are the problem, leading to suicidal thoughts. We must address these pressures to help them. It's a crisis we can't ignore. Let's talk about celebrities. Fame isn't a shield against mental pain. We've lost figures like Jeff Baena and Francisco San Martin to suicide. Fame brings immense pressure, with public scrutiny and unstable careers. Virginia Giuffre's and Kim Sae-ron's deaths highlight these pressures. Mental health struggles affect everyone, regardless of fame. These stories teach us that success can't buy happiness. Fame can be isolating and pain is universal. We must see public figures as human beings who hurt. Their stories are lessons, not gossip. They remind us that anyone can struggle. Understanding this helps us support each other. When a celebrity dies by suicide, the news often hits us harder than we expect. Even if we never met them, it can feel like losing someone we knew personally. These public figures have been a part of our daily lives, through their music, movies, interviews, or even just their presence in the media. Their stories, struggles, and triumphs become woven into our own memories and experiences, making their loss feel intimate and real. We grow up with these figures. Their work is part of our lives. Their art shapes our tastes. Their words inspire us, and their journeys sometimes mirror our own. For many, a favorite actor, musician, or athlete becomes a role model or a source of comfort during tough times. When they're gone, it can feel like a piece of our own history has vanished. Their deaths trigger not just sadness, but a wave of collective grief. We gather at memorials, light candles, and share memories online. These moments force us to reflect on the pain that can hide behind fame and success, and remind us that mental health struggles can affect anyone, no matter how admired or accomplished. This public grief can open conversations about mental health. Suddenly, topics that were once taboo, like depression, anxiety, and suicide, are discussed openly in homes, schools, and workplaces. People begin to share their own stories, realizing they're not alone in their struggles. High-profile deaths force us to confront the realities of mental illness. The headlines and social media reactions make it impossible to ignore the fact that mental health challenges are widespread and can have devastating consequences. However, there's a darker side to this attention. The celebrity suicide effect is real. Sometimes, these tragedies can lead to an increase in suicides among the general public, especially if the coverage is sensationalized or graphic. That's why responsible reporting is crucial. Journalists and media outlets have a duty to cover these stories with care, focusing on hope, help, and prevention, rather than just the details of the tragedy. In the aftermath, these losses can also become a catalyst for change. Communities rally for better mental health resources, more open conversations, and stronger support systems. People demand that mental health care be taken as seriously as physical health. We must use these moments to promote understanding and compassion, not to sensationalize tragedy. By supporting each other and sharing resources, we can help prevent future losses. Let's turn our collective grief into action, raising awareness, supporting those in need, and making mental health a priority for everyone. Together, we can transform loss into hope, and create a movement for healing and understanding that touches us all. The COVID-19 pandemic was a global trauma, hitting young people hard. Isolation devastated a generation reliant on social connection. The pandemic's uncertainty caused stress, missing life milestones. Support systems vanished, leaving many to struggle alone. Celebrities faced unique challenges, losing professional structures. The pandemic exposed fragile support systems. We live in its shadow, with lasting anxiety and grief. Understanding its impact is crucial for mental health today. It's a shared trauma still shaping our world. The pain is often invisible, but there are warning signs. Social withdrawal and drastic behavior changes are key indicators. Changes in sleep, appetite, or reckless behavior are signs. Listen to what people say. Expressions of hopelessness matter. Subtle signs include giving away possessions or making arrangements. Recognizing signs is about being a compassionate friend. Trust your instincts if something feels off. Your concern could be the first step to help. Seeing signs is crucial in the chain of survival. Be attentive and supportive. It can save a life. Noticing warning signs is just the start. Reach out and talk. Start a conversation, showing concern and care. Listen without judgment, validating their feelings. Ask directly about suicide. It can be a relief for them. Encourage seeking professional help. You're a bridge, not a therapist. Follow up with ongoing support. It shows genuine concern. Simple check-ins can make a difference. Your presence and compassion are powerful tools. You don't need all the answers. Be there for them. It can help save a life. Let's make a difference together. We are at a critical moment in history. The way we view mental health is changing, and it's up to us to guide that change in a positive direction. For too long, mental health has been pushed to the sidelines, hidden in the shadows, and treated as something separate from our overall well-being. But now we have the opportunity and the responsibility to bring it into the light. Dismantling stigma is essential. We must recognize that mental health is just as important as physical health. When we talk openly about mental health, we help break down barriers that keep people from seeking help. Let's normalize conversations about therapy, struggles, and emotional challenges. When we share our experiences, we create a space where others feel safe to do the same, and we remind each other that no one is truly alone in their journey. Schools must become safe havens for mental well-being, where students feel supported, understood, and empowered to ask for help. Educators and counselors play a vital role in creating these nurturing environments. Social media companies have a responsibility to address the mental health impacts of their platforms. By promoting positive content and providing resources, they can help protect vulnerable users and foster healthier online communities. Together, we can build a culture of compassion and support where reaching out for help is seen as a sign of strength, not weakness. Community support is the foundation of resilience. When we share our struggles, we make it easier for others to open up about theirs. Vulnerability can be a powerful tool for connection and healing. Listening with an open heart helps build resilience, both in ourselves and in those around us. Sometimes, just being there for someone can make all the difference. This work belongs to all of us: families, friends, educators, companies, and communities. Each of us has a role to play in creating a more caring world. There is hope. With understanding, support, and access to care, people can and do recover. Every small victory is worth celebrating. If you're struggling, please reach out. Help is available, and you are not alone. Taking that first step can be the beginning of healing. Together, let's create a future where no one faces darkness alone, and where every person feels seen, heard, and valued.